Can we start? This meeting is called to order. Uh, Ina-announce ko sa ating mga kababayan na there is a spike still. We have cases coming up every day. It's important to impress upon everybody na itong control ng pandemic is left better to the medical guys. And I understand that there is a continuing rise of COVID cases and maraming patay. And if you read the CNN, you'd know that that's really a thing to worry. And I think it's because, alam mo, ang mga Amerikano, pareho rin sa Pilipino, hindi naniniwala yung iba. At ang iba naman, they don't really follow the distance, social distance, the congregation of people, especially those who are night goers. And alam mo, pagka sa mga ganon, madali talaga ang transmission, shouting and singing there with all the saliva flowing around. Alam mo, sa totoo lang, I would be the last person to deprive you of your freedom to move around. But it is important that you should understand that what we are trying to protect, who are the people that we are trying to shield, it is the contamination from you. Sa iyo nung nanggagaling kung nahawa ka, na ipasa mo sa iba. Never mind about yung iyo kung gusto mo. But the problem is, kagaya ng asymptomatic, meron ka, nandyan yung nag-hibernate yung microbe, and yet you do not feel anything because you are asymptomatic. And hindi mo alam, you pass it around because you don't feel anything. You go around giving it to other people. Alam mo, ang importante pala, sa totoo lang, and I realize now, it's the testing. Yung swabbing, pati yung test. Kasi mahal, I'm trying to figure out a cheaper way of doing it. And I will discuss it with the Secretary of Health and General Galvez, how to come up with a cheaper swabbing and testing. Kasi magbayad nga mahal lalo na sa airport. Ang problema noon in the early days ang sa airport, which was really a mandatory thing for me, na nagpunta doon, ang presyo ata mga to, so yung iba, tama-tama lang yung pera, especially the marginalized. Marginalized, I mean, is yung tama-tama lang. Ang estudyante, so pamasahe pa uwi, airport, they never really content with the extra expenses. So, yun ang problema. Dapat, if we are to really avoid and limit the virus, government itself must provide for the, well, curative and palliative or whatever, preventive. And one of those is really the swabbing para maraman ka. Ngayon, kung malaman ka, marami mang hotel ngayon, there's a dirt, not a dirt is kulang. There's a dirt of space for people who are suspected of having the virus. Ang problema nito is ganito. Ikaw naman, kung dalhin ka doon sa ospital, it's kind of a morbid thing really for anybody. It could be traumatic for a guy na pag-swab, dalhin ka doon sa, you are whisked to the hospital and you stay there. To some people, staying in the hospital is really a horror thing because yung iba hindi nga na hospital ni minsan sa buhay nila. So, I leave it to the city government and we will talk about it later. Itong mga hotel na bakante, total pagkatapos yan, you can always decontaminate the rooms. We will do it for you. Arrange with the hotels na pwede mo munang gamitin, lalo na sa panahon na ito. And to the owners of hotels, inns, motel maybe, kung wala ng iba, nagulang, to accommodate the Filipinos who are in need of help. I will assume the full responsibility of paying you pagdating ng panahon. I will see to it that I will ask Congress. I will plead sa kanila na hanapan ng paraan, bayaran kayo. And I will personally see to it that you are paid on time. This would include siguro meals, but simple lang. Kagaya dito, I recommend the menu dito sa Malacañang. Dito magkain ka, isang sabaw, isang ulam, pati kanin. Hanggang dyan lang ang makuha mo dito na pagkain. I do not seldom, if at all, na we serve my steak. We do not, I have prohibited the use of alcohol dito, liquor, pati simple lang. Ganun rin sa sa mga hotel. Pakiusap ko lang. Total, wala namang, you don't have to worry about an afterwards thing of itong hotel mo ma-contaminate. We will do the necessary protocol to decontaminate or to kill the whatever there is in the room. Madali lang man yan. Pagbigyan ninyo yung mga kababayan natin. So yung mga local governments are put on notice that I have directed you to make necessary arrangements with vacant motels, hotels, na patirahin mo muna ninyo yung mga COVID patients. Now, if a hotel is chosen or selected, then it behooves upon the medical guys to let it be that way, meaning na huwag na ninyo papasukan ng ibang healthy persons. That inn or hotel remains to be a medical facility for those afflicted with COVID. It's no longer available to the public. Tingnan naman ninyo na hindi naman makawawa yung iba. So it's a no-no for itong sa public, traveling public or the public who persons who want to have a rest and yung mga resort siguro wag muna sa mga beach kasi those are the only escape of leisure for many of the Filipinos. Ngayon, ang umabot na tayo sa porsyento is 92.6. Ang total na gumaling is 408. Pero ang total na porsyentong tinamaan naman is 5.5%. Am I correct, Secretary? And then ang namatay is 1.94. Alam mo, marami akong nakita na from stories na itong mamatay ng COVID is it's a painful and horrible, will be last experience. Masisira talaga katawan ninyo. So be careful. Ako nga dito, nagdadasal. So, yun ho ang mensahe ko for the local governments. Now, I do not have a copy of people who are sa purging. Meron ba tayo? Well, we are still awaiting. But there's, I informed na mayroong bagong batch ito, but they ask na wala muna ngayon. So, baka they are collating everything. And there's no mentioning of names because there is none. There is no list. And itong cleansing sa gobyerno, magpatuloy ito. Now, maraming haka-haka dyan. Na kami mga cabinet members, ako, tumatanggap ng pera. And look, I give you this guarantee. Magdala ka lang ng tao at sabihin mo nagbigay siya ng piso sa amin, mag-resign ako bukas. Just one person, one affidavit. Walang imbento. Yung totoo na sinabi na may tinanggap kami ng pera, you just bring him to him or bring him before the public an announcement, and if true, I will tender my resignation as President of this Republic. That is my guarantee to you. Basta totoo. Do not lie. Huwag kang mag-kongkok story. Masama yan. Kung ganon, ikaw ang patayin ko. You do destroy the name of persons or a cabinet member, kung mayroon kayo na transaction, let me know. As far as I'm concerned, they are all honest. At kung mayroon ka, sabihin mo in public and I will ask that cabinet member to resign immediately. Yan yung gano'n. Hindi maganda yung, yung haka-haka because it will destroy. Sino pang maniwala sa amin kung you keep on parlaying this mga ganitong istorya. Ako, baski, hindi lang sa public. In government, if there is anybody who can prove that I receive money from the office of the President, from the government, 1 peso more than my salary, re-resign rin ako. Yan ang guarantee ko sa inyo. Kung sumobra, I think may after tax, 200 ang sweldo ko, after tax, mga 193 na doon. Pag sumobra yan, pag kumuha ako, ni piso, sumobra ako, ganun rin, I will resign. There's no use of governing a country when people no longer believe in you. Kasi kung hindi na maniwala ang tao, wala na. You're better off just enjoying your retirement. Kasi naman, presidente ka, mag-cabinet member ka, matanda ka na. It's a lifetime journey of hardship and everything, both for the military and the mga civilian dito. Secretary Duque has served two administrations. 4. Oh, kita mo. Has served government faithfully for 4 administrations. You just do not, sabihin mo na wala man akong nakita na nagtanggap ng pera. Tinanong ko sino, sabihin ko sa inyo. Sabihin ninyo sa akin. Wala talaga. Either sa intelligence, sa military, sa police, o sa civilian. I have not heard Secretary Duque receiving money. Yung vaccine na yan, it's worth billions. They say that we would need about 73 billion to vaccinize the population. Yan, teritoryo yan ni General Galvez. I have full faith and confidence that walang kickback yan, wala lahat. It will be a clean straight deal. Whatever be the vaccine. Walang makikialam. Siya lang, kasi sinabi ko, siya lang ang kakana niyang itong vaccine para sa ating mga kababayan. Now, they say that I mumble when I talk. If you'd notice, the longer I talk, nawawala yung, I don't know, baka nakarma na rin ako. Ano bang kasalanan kong putang ina? Wala man. Wala akong, hindi ko pinabayaan yung mga anak ko. Mabait naman ako sa kapwa ko tao. May trabaho lang ako. So yung trabaho ko, tutuparin ko talaga. Now for those na itong sagutin ko itong pamilya ni, kasi nanawagan sila sa yung mga anak ni Perez. First of all, I'm sorry that your father died the way it happened. Pero kung sabihin mo may yang listahan na yan, hindi akin yan. It's a collation, lahat-lahat na yan sa intelligence report, sa mga drug enforcement at sa intelligence ng military police. It's a combination. Now that list of mine which I read, because really everybody almost in the provinces, Marawi at that time was churning its full blast machines to produce shabu. Nagrampant na masyado ang shabu, mura na masyado, patayan ng mga tao dyan sa magnaglakad kasi kinukuha yung pera, mga estudyante. So, as a strong measure, being in charge of enforcement of the law overall, I had to, as a matter of duty of a president, the right of the people to be informed of the situation so that they can prevent obstruct, or just simply shy away from people who are known. Hindi ko kilala yung tatay ninyo, hindi ko nga nabasa. I don't remember, well, yung cursory reading lang, pero wala akong minimorize na mga tao doon sa listahan. I'm sorry if your father was there, but really, most of those nasa droga talaga. Your father might be an exception, and you believe firmly that he was not guilty or liable of anything. Well, it's good. But the problem, his name, umabot doon sa listahan. At mind you, yung lahat na namatay, natirik, well, you'll just have to look for the killers. Hindi dito sa opisina ko yan. It's not mine. Remember that you are fighting the forces of the Republic of the Philippines. Yan ang masasabi ko sa inyo. Hindi sa akin yan. May binigay lang sa akin. Hindi ako gumagawa ng listahan. Hindi ako pulis. Hindi ako sa intelligence. Dito po ako sa itong opisina ko dito sa Pasig. Nagtatrabaho. But as a matter, I said, as a matter of an obligation, I had to come up with the name of those suspected so that the public will be aware and prevent their ascension to public office. Yun ang purpose ko doon. At marami sa mga barangay captain, almost more than 400 of them. Mga barangay captain, mga city mayors, kasali doon. Ito naman si Mabilog, nagayaw-yaw yung asawa. Look, it is not my fault that your husband's name appears on that list. Hindi aking listahan yan. Now, there is no such thing as I have to move on because it's a constant vigilance. Kung nasabi ko ang pangalan uli, because at that time, he was named. Dito ngayon, yung conviction niya, dismissed from public office and barred from seeking in perpetual disqualification to hold public office. That is not my decision. It is the decision of the Ombudsman. Kailangan ko sabihin kasi hindi alam ng tao na si Mabilog wala dito, sumibat at ayun ang nangyari sa kanya. That is different from the first time that I mentioned him. Take that away. That was general. Ito dito is specific, yung mention niya because of what, kasi, or would you rather that linyahin ko yan sila tapos rakrakan ko na lang. It might have stop them from doing it and the public from being aware or not from, but being aware of the people who are out to destroy their way of life. Demokrasya to. On a democracy, you cannot have a free-willing right to do whatever you want. Because what you want to do or you desire to do is always subject to the public good and the public interest. Remember, when I do anything and I invoke public interest, public good, mabigat yan. It carries with it the force of a law na talagang sabihin ko, itong mga tao na ito, hintuan ninyo pag hindi. There's no law which says anything like that. But galing sa bunganga ko as president, I'm giving you the warning, yung naiwan, kayong mga naiwan na mga drug lords dyan, well, alam naman ninyo, you take the risk, you earn so much money, comfortable life, okay lang yan. But at the end of the day, you know what the stakes are. Now, we ask the different representative of the task force to give the report. I'd like to ask Secretary Duque to give us the first report.
Magandang gabi po, Mr. President and Senator Bongo and my fellow cabinet members. Bago ko po umpisahan yung ulat po patungkol sa COVID situation sa Pilipinas, ibig ko lang pong ipaalam po sa inyo, Mr. President, na yung pong presyo ng testing natin ay napababa na po natin alinsunod po sa inyong executive order na nilagdaan about last month, about November 12 or 13. At kanya nagkapag tatagpo tayo ng price range for RT-PCR testing sa private laboratories po. Ang singilan is anywhere from 4,500 pesos na lang po to 5,000. At sa government laboratory naman po, national and local government laboratories as 3,800 pesos na lang po. At ang PhilHealth naman ay patuloy na nagbabayad. Ang pinakamataas pong bayad ng PhilHealth is 3,409 pesos. So maliit na lang po yung idadagdag yung out of pocket, parang 400 pesos na lang po.
Excuse me, sir, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, sir.
These are privately owned.
Privately owned po yung 4,500 to 5,000, sir.
Can we not undertake the testing by government?
Kailangan po talaga yung private laboratory, Mr. President, kasi limited po ang capacity ng atin government laboratories, although we have been expanding our capacity, Mr. President.
Well, COVID would be around. You're targeting 60 million Filipinos to be vaccinated. Okay. That's no easy job. That is not a walk in the park. And it will transcend maybe the whole of the next year, 2021. So, is there a way that we can spend for all this testing, makabili tayo, makamura tayo, kung may pera pa, maghanap tayo, so that it is actually, to me, the sacred duty of government to protect its citizens. Now, in cases of pandemic, which is beyond control by anybody, that is why it is spreading in the whole world. It's not an epidemic, it's pandemic. So we can expect more. Because vaccinating 60 million, I said, would really be you have to walk the extra mile there. So, baka, if you can give me a figure, akin, pera na lang, wag na lang yung the quality, what you make. I'm not concerned with that. Tingnan ko kung may pera, magbili na lang tayo in all government hospitals or in health centers, mabigay natin libre, free of charge. Target the first or second quarter if you can have a program where I can review and look for the money.
Will do, sir.
Okay.
Gagawin ko po kagad.
Thank you. We go now to Secretary Anyo for his report.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. President. Tama po yun. Doon po sa PDITR, prevention po ang unang hakbang. 80% of the effort po kung magawa ang prevention, hindi na po aabot sa ospital, hindi na po aabot sa malalalang kaso. At ito po ang trabaho ng LGUs at ang responsibilidad din po ng bawat isa. Ngayon po ay naghahanda na ang ating mga LGUs, particularly po ang NCR LGUs, sa nalalapit na Christmas season o pagdiriwang ng Kapaskuhan. We are now in full preparations at nakapokus po ang mga LGUs sa strict implementation ng mga minimum health standard at quarantine protocols. At sila po ay inaasistihan ng ating Philippine National Police Joint Task Force COVID Shield under Lieutenant General Cesar Binag. Kanina nga po ay nagkaroon ng pagpupulong ang DOH, DILG at NCR mayors para sa mga paghahanda na to, sapagkat nag-i-expect po tayo na baka magkaroon ng surge pagkatapos po ng holidays. Dahil ang tendency ng mga tao ay magsaya, lumabas, magmalling, kaya kailangan po ay nakahanda kaming lahat. Dito po sa National Capital Region, pinagtibay na ng ating mga mayors na ang pinapayagan ng lumabas ay 18 to 65 years old. Although po sa buong bansa ay pwede naman yung under MGCQ ang 15 to 65. Bawal pa rin po at mahigpit na i-implement na bawal ang mga mass gatherings katulad po ng Christmas party, ang pagkakaroling ng personal at ang mga reunions ay hindi papayagan. Sa mga pagdiriwang ng Noche Buena, dapat po ay immediate family lang or household members. At magkaroon na lang sila ng BTC sa mga extended families, by Zoom na lang. At ang ating paalala ay dapat ay sundin na huwag lalampas ng 10 kung sila ay magkakatipon-tipon. At ang pag-implement po ng mga guidelines na ito, pinapatupad ng ating LGUs, ng Philippine National Police, at kasama yung mga force multipliers, katulad ng mga tanods at mga security guards. Meron din po tayong mga Disciplina Brigade. Recently po, meron din tayong itinatag ng mga Yantok Patrollers. Ito po yung mga pulis na merong 1 meter rattan stick. Ito ay gagamitin para panukat sa physical distancing. At kung merong mga kriminal na gagawa ng anumang kasamaan, pwede rin pong gamitin itong pang self-defense.
Correct.
Katulad lang naman ito nung gumagamit sila ng batuta nung araw.
Noon.
Opo. Gumagamit sila ng batuta nung araw, pero dahil may physical distancing, maikli lang yung batuta. Kaya dapat mayroon pong rattan stick na 1 meter para pang sukat. Mag-update din po ako dito sa ating anti-illegal drug operations po during the pandemic. Mukhang tumataas po ang demand sa shabu, kaya nagsunod-sunod din po yung operasyon ng ating kapulisan. Noong pong December 5, alas 7 ng gabi, sa SM Bikutan, malapit po sa SM Bikutan, nagkaroon ng bypass operation, at dito po 2 tao ang nahuli at nakarecover ng 8 kilong shabu na nagkakahalaga ng 54.4 million. Ito po ang grupo na nagdadala ng shabu mula sa Mindanao papunta dito sa Metro Manila. At ayon din po sa report ni General Debold Sinas, nagkaroon ng follow-up operation kahapon, 4:40 p.m. at nakapag-aresto sa isang bypass operation ng 2 tao at 3 kilong shabu ang na-recover natin, total of 20.4 million. Kaya po mula po ating operation noong November 3 hanggang December 7, umaabot po ng 135,391,326 worth of shabu ang ating na-confiscate. Patuloy pa rin po tayo magsasagawa ng mga operasyon at sisiguraduhin natin ligtas sa illegal na droga ang ating mga mamamayan ngayong Kapaskuhan. Yun lang po, Mr. President. Salamat.
Thank you, Jalanyo. Alam mo, sa totoo lang, sabi nga ng yung the bulk of the those, pati don'ts, ang pinaka-hawak lang, which is under your control, would be really be yung prevention. It is only you who can really do it, but it is not a 100% guarantee that if you follow all of this, you will not get the COVID. Patsambahan lang yan. But your chances of avoiding the contamination would be greater. The odds would be in your favor. Kasi kung protektado ka and you follow the social distancing, lahat na, iyo lahat yan eh. Nasa iyo yan. Mga prevention. Nobody can do it for you. You and you alone will be responsible for your safety and health. Alam ko po, ngayon pa lang, we are saying sorry that there will be a curtailment of so many things that you have been used to during Christmas time. Look at it this way. All of the Christmas of your lifetime, ngayon lang naman ito isang beses hinihingi ng gobyerno para sa iyo. Ang ano dito is para sa iyo, hindi para sa gobyerno. Gobyerno is an abstract thing. It does not breathe. It has no lungs. It does not get sick. But government is a agency through which the will of the people is expressed. That is a definition of what government is. So, yung kami dito, sinusunod lang namin yung ano yung kagustuhan ng tao. Everybody wants to be healthy. No doubt about it. So there's no question that government can take a cue every day from people of all walks of life, giving suggestion and doing something for the country. For those who are really the workers, lalo na yung mga frontliners, the doctors, and the nurses who have to face the sick people, we salute you many times, and please continue to do so, and may God bless you. Now, itong sa Kapaskuhan, mahigpit ito ng konti. I said, you had it so many Christmases in your life. Those born during this time, beginning in the 40s or 30s, wala na yan sila ngayon masyado. Kami na ang sunod niyan mga 40s. Wala na. Pero you have had so many Christmas blowouts and parties. Itong kaisa-isa lang, this is one Christmas, the only Christmas maybe that government will interfere in your private affairs. You might think that this is too much, government does not control us. Of course, we cannot control you individually if what you do is what you want. The problem is we are preventing you from getting other people sick. So that's the problem. It is not you, or if it includes you and your neighbor. Yan ho ang laro ng buhay dito. So many parties. Almost in your adult and younger years, you had parties every Christmas. Would you be kind enough just to skip the not really frivolous, but the festivities? Iwasan na muna ninyo. You avoid it because it is for your own good and for the good of the community and eventually for the good of the country. Yan ho ang maidagdag ko dyan sa statement ni General Rania, which was really encompassing. Actually, si General Anyo has the supervision sa pinaka sa tao. Little dito sa mga direkta eh. Pero itong dito, General Anyo has to deal with the idiosyncrasies, the mores, the culture of people with different tribes in the Philippines. So, sana maintindihan ninyo kami. Now, let's go to Secretary Tugadi. He has...
Maraming salamat po, Mayor President, sa pagkakataon na binibigay ninyo upang ihayag ko in general terms kung ano ang nangyayari sa kagawaran ng transportasyon. Isa-isahin po natin dito ho sa release ng tren na kung saan nung nagumpisa ho tayo ang kapasidad ng ating mga release since resumption of operation in 16 of May 2020. Ito ho ay na-increase to 30% noong October 19, 2020. On details and in details, ang LRT1 ho, ang indicative average capacity per train set per line sa LRT1, 158 ho noon, ngayon ho, 370 passengers na. LRT2, 160 passengers, ngayon 486. Ang MRT3, 153 passengers, ngayon ho, more than double, 372. 166 passenger naman sa PNR na ngayon nagdoble sa 219. Makikita ho natin sa pag-increase ng capacity, mas marami ho ang mga naglalakbay at mga pasahero at biyahero ngayon sa ating mga release ng tren. Let me just report the following developments. Number one, Mr. President, nung nag-meeting po tayo dito, sinabi ko na sa buwan ng Disyembre, yung MRT3 ay babagtas ng 60 kilometers per hour. I'm happy to announce, Mr. President and fellow cabinet members, that by December 1, your MRT3 has hit 60 kilometers per hour. Never before has this been done. Ngayon ho, natapos na ho natin yung rail replacement. Dapat ho, matapos natin yan next year. Kaya lang pinayagan ho tayo ng IATF na kung saan kami ho'y sumamo sa kanila na payagan nyo kaming i-repair yan following strict health protocols. Pinayagan po naman ng IITF, kaya natapos namin yung rail replacement. Yung headway ho, noon, tumatakbo ho tayo mga 9 minutes. Ngayon po, Mr. President, tumatama na ho tayo 3.4 minutes. In other words, ano ho ang ibig sabihin nito? Yung pasahero madadagdagan kasi mapapabilis yung takbo ng tren at yung pag-aantay ay mababawasan. Again, on generic, tatlong bagay ho ang sasabihin ko dito. Yung electronic ticketing system na trinayal namin ay nag-uumpisa at tuloy-tuloy. Ano ho yung epektong hinahabol natin dito sa electronic ticketing system? Mawawala yung overload, mawawala yung bentahan ng scalpel. In other words, yung pagbiyahe sa karagatan, mas magiging safer, comfortable, and more convenient. Umpisa na ho yung contact tracing through trace. Alam ko ho at batid namin na merong plano ang IATF na ilunsad yung Safety Philippines. Wala ho kaming problema dyan. Kung magagawa yung mga detalye, we are all for the integration. Para nang sa ganon, integrated ho yung contact tracing. President, even at the height of the pandemic, we have inaugurated and opened 14 new ports and 14 new improvements. Ito ho'y mag-ahalaga. Pagkat sabi nyo, make the Filipino life comfortable. And by creating all these ports improvement, we are creating the convenience and the mobility to make the Filipino life comfortable. Bumahagi ho tayo sa aviation. Sa aviation ho, ngayon, inaalaw na ng commercial operations as of December 6, 2020, 36 airports. Ang hindi pa ho, inaalaw 13 airports. Ang ibig sabihin, lumalawak at nadadagdagan na ho yung kapasidad natin magbiyahe sa aviation and by air. Pumunta ho tayo sa service contracting under Bayanihan 2. Sa service contracting under Bayanihan 2, ito ho, Mr. President, ang plano natin dito, tatakbo yung mga buses, may laman o wala. In other words, it is a predictable travel. Babayaran natin yung mga operators, swelduhan yung mga drivers. I am pleased to report to the Cabinet members as of December 7, 2020, a total of 152 drivers have been onboarded and currently being monitored sa tinatawag natin na service contracting program. An additional 1,500 drivers will be outboarded or was outboarded at 5 o'clock p.m. today. A total of 1,838 drivers from various regions have been oriented and trained on the service contracting program and 7,000 drivers from Metro Manila. Ito ho ang magpapakita na tayo ho ang seryoso sa tinatawag na service contracting. Mahalaga ho ito kasi noon karerahan yan sa EDSA. Ngayon, kaya may laman ka o wala, on dictated time, aandar ka. In other words, travel will become more predictable and convenient. Why? Because sabi nyo nga ho, make the Filipino life comfortable. On a last note, Mr. President, I would like, and I'm happy to inform you, that your kagawaran ng transportasyon is one with you in fighting corruption. Ano ho yung ginagawa namin sa Department of Transportation? I created a task force, 3 tao, na kung saan i-monitor yung mga kaso ng corruption, itutuloy. Pero agarang ginawa kong rekomendasyon, Mr. President, at ginagawa nila ito, lahat, pati na ako, ay magsasubmit sa task force ng kanilang SALN for the last 3 years. Isinama ko ho dyan yung mga secretaries, executive assistant. Sinama ko rin ho dyan yung involved sa BAC, sa bidding, sa procurement, at isinama ko rin ho dyan yung mga involved sa project implementation. Bakit ho? Kasi etong bidding, yung BAC, yung procurement, saka yung monitoring of projects, dyan ho nagkakaroon ng aragolya. Kaya pinasisilip ko ho lahat yung SALN. We will be submitting a report to DOJ and to the task force you have created, Mr. President, to show our oneness with your program on corruption. Tama ho kayo. Wala na ho tayong oras, konti na lang. Huwag ho natin bitawan yung issue ng corruption. If we perform and at the same time we attack corruption, then it can be said that really your administration, Mr. President, is working to make the Filipino life convenient, comfortable, and corrupt-free. Yun lang po, Mr. President.
Now, we'll go to Secretary Lorenzana.
Magandang gabi po, Ginoong Presidente. Kami po ng sa National Task Force, ako, si Secretary Anyo at saka si Secretary Galvez, ay labis na nangangamba na magkakaroon ng pagtaas ng kaso nitong Kapaskuhan. Sa katunayan po, Mr. President, nung nakadaang linggo ay bumaba na tayo ng below 1,000. Ngayon, imakyat na naman tayo ng 1,004. So, ibig sabihin, mayroon pang mga pasaway dyan na hindi naniniwala sa ating mga pinagbibilin. So, ang inyo pong sandatahang lakas ay handang tumulong sa kapulisan para ipatupad yung ating mga protokolo ngayong Kapaskuhan para ho mapigilan natin yung pagtaas ng mga kaso. So, wala naman po masyadong problema sa buong bansa. Yung ating mga kasundaluhan ay patuloy din yung kanilang operation against the NPA at saka mga Abu Sayyaf. At saka sa katunayan nga, marami na tayong nakukuhang mga leaders ng mga NPA. Yun lang po dun sa AFP. Yung po sa ating minamanmanang mga OFW na umuwi ay nakatala na tayo ng 348,477 OFWs who came home from abroad assisted by the IATF. Patuloy pa po ang pag-uwi nila at sa palagay ko hindi na tititigil to hanggang sa darating na taon. Yun lang po, Ginoong Presidente. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Secretary Lorenzana. Mabalik lang ako. Let me revisit again yung previous talking points ni General Anyo. Itong Ratan, tama ka, sir. There used to be a baton carried by the policemen many years ago. Nakita ko yun. I was still young, but not so young. But old enough to observe the multi-purpose use of a baton. Alam mo, nagtaka talaga ako kung bakit ito tinanggal. You know, when a person resists arrest and he becomes violent, the first impulse of the police without a baton is to hold his gun. He might not draw it, but he holds his gun ready for action. Kung may baton ito, rubberize man yung baton noon, kung mahampas mo lang ang kamay, mahampas mo yung katawan, masakit yun. Maybe you can subdue the person resisting arrest or the criminal. At bakit nawala ito? Na dapat ito ang first line of defense ng police para hindi siya malapitan, agawin yung baril o makipagsuntukan sa kanya o makipag-struggle kasi ayaw ma-aresto. The police can use a not so lethal weapon. Yung baton, rubberize yun noon, matigas. Pero not enough to really break bones. And also, the practice of using it moderately, especially where to strike, what parts of the body of a human being can be, well, can be hit so that he will stop his aggression or surrender. Ganito kasi yan, ulitin ko, maraming hindi nakaalam nito eh. Ulitin ko ha, for the education of everybody. When you are a criminal or when you are a person who has committed a wrong or a crime, and when the police arrives to the scene to find out what happened, and you are pointed to as the culprit, you are the robber, you are the thief, you are the kidnapper, whatnot, your first duty as a citizen is to surrender. Pag sinabi ng police ito at bitawan mo yung itak mo, bitawan mo yung pampalo mo, o bitawan mo whatever that is really a dangerous, maybe capable of injuring a person. Now, if you are really a responsible citizen, you must know your duty. If you have committed the wrong, then you're supposed to surrender peacefully. That is your duty. That is your responsibility. Hindi yan sa yan talaga ang batas. Pag sinabi ng police, bitawan mo mag-surrender ka because that is your duty as a criminal or your responsibility as a whatever, nag-aaway kayo dyan, a protagonist in a fight or whatever, mag-surrender kayo. Now, if you do not submit to the authority of the law, which is personified by the police, pwede kang hulihin talaga and make an arrest. In making an arrest, you are supposed to be bodily carried to the police van or talagang hawakan ka, and if you do not want to move, you are dragged to the police station. Kasi yan ang trabaho ng police. Ang trabaho ng police, makahiram nga ng isang ballpen pa. Nagli-lecture na ako ng criminal law dito. Kasi maraming inintindihan eh. Lalo na yung mga lasing. Pagka ng police, sabi, "Oh, bakit? Nag-inuman lang ako dito. Masama ba magsigaw-sigaw?" You create public disturbance. Many person, hindi nila alam yan. Pag maglasing sila, nag-iinuman lang kami dito. Ito yung police. Ikaw yon sa baba. Pag sinabi ng police, mag-surrender ka, sumama ka sa police peacefully. That is your duty. Duty mo yan. Ngayon, kung pagsabi ng police, ayaw mong sumama, pipilitin kita. The police now will go to you and get hold of your hand, place a handcuff sa iyo because the police has the duty to arrest you and bring you to the law. Ngayon, kung mag-away ka, ang police has the duty to enforce the law by overcoming your resistance. Kaya pagka ganon, pinalo ka na ng pulis kasi ayaw mong sumama, nagipagsabunutan ka, pwede kang paluin ng pulis sa paa, then he must bring you to this station. That is the duty of the police, to insist. Ikaw, ang duty mo when you are arrested is for the purpose of bringing you to the folds of the law, and you go to the station, have yourself booked for whatever misdeed, wrong, or crime you committed. Ganon ho yan. I'm not defending the police. Kasi sabi nga the police, ano ako sundalo sa police, no. I am just following what the law says. Kasi kung makipag-away ka ng police, pag sinuntok mo yung police, inatake mo, you commit the crime of direct assault upon an agent of a person in authority. Ikaw yung may kasalanan pag lumaban ka. At kung nabugbog ka sa batuta, problema mo yan kasi hindi ka nag-surrender. In the first place, your duty is to surrender. Intindihan ninyo? Kailangan kadalhin eh. The police has to place you under his control to bring you to the station. Ano sabihin ng police, o sige, arestado ka. O sige, arestado ako. Tapos, anong sunod? Sabi, uwi na ako. Ay, gago ka. Diyan ka talaga mabugbog. Sabi ka, so sir, sama ako. Usually, if you're under arrest, you are placed, when the handcuff is placed, both of them in your hands, and that is the symbol of being arrested. Sa Amerika, maniwala ka hindi, pedestrian lang. Pedestrian lane yung no crossing, mahuli ka doon. Patindigin ka ng police because he is manning the traffic. Putaragis, hulihin ka, nakapusas ka. Ganon ang style sa Amerika. Mabuti na nga yung atin sa sumama ka. Doon automatic. If you say, hey guy, you're arrested. You're violating the law. Please turn your back. Your hands, place it there. Ayun. Tapos, hintayin ka dyan, patindigin ka hanggang magdaan yung van ng pulis para isakay ka, dalhin ka sa istasyon. I-book ka for jaywalking. Ganon sa Amerika. Kaya dito, hindi nyo naintindihan, pag inaresto kayo ng pulis, sabi ng pulis, pulis ito, ano ba ito? Ito siya, o arestado ka. Sumama ka. Ayan, kamay mo. Nakapusas. Sumama ka. Huwag ka lumaban because your responsibility is mag-surrender peacefully. Ang pulis naman is to place you under their control. Kaya kung maglaban ka, mabubugbog ka talaga. Kasi sa ayaw mo at sa hindi, dadalhin ka talaga doon sa estasyon. Yan ang karamihan. Dito itong mga Reds, yan sila. Hindi nakakaintindi. Walang basa, walang abogado dyan sa kanila na ginagamit yung utak. It's not, the word is not working. That's the law. That's criminal law. Ngayon, kung ipabalik ko yung baton, balik ko siguro. Pero yung hard rubber, huwag yung kahoy kasi, Pero in the meantime, the rattan will do. Will suffice. We'll look for the money next year. I'll buy you the baton. And the baton will be gamitin yung baton, wag yung baril. Kasi kung hindi mo bigyan ng baton, pag maglapit ang pulis, ang kamay sa baril na, kunting pagkamali, any overt act na parang magbunot ka lang pala ng wallet mo, para ka nagbunot ng baril, na mabaril ka, justified. Mistake of fact yan. If he believes in good faith that he's going to be. Ngayon, dito tayo sa, isingit ko na lang bago si Senator Galvez. There will be no ceasefire ever again under my term ko pagka-presidente. For all intents and purposes, yung ceasefire is dead. Wala na yun. Matagal na yun. Nung umalis ako, when I walk away from the talks, because we cannot understand each other, maybe we were talking on different dialects. I don't know where. But I just simply cannot understand the way it was being carried by the other side, by being played. What was evolving before me was something which is not acceptable to the Republic of the Philippines. Lalo na yung coalition government. You are no president, no stupid president will allow it. He will get impeached. He will get impeached by, you are not supposed to share that power. Ako, may sinumpaan ako. And those powers given to me under the law are only to be exercised unless they are capable of being delegated. I cannot compromise anything in this government. It's either I will be impeached or the military and the police will shoot me. Mamili lang ako sa dalawa dyan. Ipapasubo mo ang Republic of the Philippines, papatayin ka talaga. Because you are a traitor of your country. And if I give you a power to share in a power sharing, that's a very, very serious thing. You can get assassinated for it. Hindi na maghintay because sinisira mo yung Republika ng Pilipinas. Simple as that. So for all intents and purposes, I would say the ceasefire is dead. And there is the peace talks between the NDF, NPA, pati yung isahin na lang natin yung legal front nila, NPA, NDF, pati kayong lahat. I am identifying you because I have seen the records. You are really communists. Taken in all its narratives, whatever, the just say, you're out to share power. So I have to destroy you. Na kayong lahat dyan, you're a communist. Nasa kami sa inyo, you cannot be accused now of being just a mere communist member because the anti-subversion law has been abrogated. Well, you got it all wrong because the Communist Party is still fighting against the government. Hindi nga wala ng subversion law, but you are committing murder, arson, lahat na, and rape. These are serious offenses under the revised penal code. At itong inyong organization, simply communist, all of you, the act of one is the act of all. Anong ginawa ng mga sundalo ninyo pagpatay ng barangay captain? The act of the soldier in PA is the act of Sarate, Congressman. So, what do we do? Well, I'm trying to sort out what we will do to you. Because you are now criminals. And I said, I have pointed out, we are not only tagging you, that's a light, we are identifying you. And we will identify you anytime you want. But there will be a time before my end terms, I will name all of you, kayong lahat sa NDF, pati who are in. Alam mo, nung kaibigan pa tayo, yung nasa white area, ito sila kasimple. Kasama ko yan, nag-iinuman kami sa istorya. Tapos, one day after I go to the mountains, na doon kayo. Parang kadre rin kayo. Hindi lang nga kayo nagmamarcha. Pero one time I was talking to the head of the COMID. Yung COMID is the highest organ, Communist Party of the Philippines in Mindanao. Si Nelson, pati si, kasama si Bong, si Nelson, pati si Father, Mong Navarro. At that time, nakita ko pa yung sa paa niya, may tube plastic doon sa baba. And I said to the military when I went down, si Father Navarro is sick. And si Nelson is payat yan. Hindi mo talaga big time na komunista. He's a very gentle guy. He talks mahusay na But you're being nice or being an amiable person does not make you a good communist. All communists are bad because all of you are conspiring to overthrow the government of the Republic of the Philippines. And nobody would allow you. Not the military, not the police, and not the majority of all Filipinos. Ilan lang kayo. Kayo sa Davao, nakapasok ang mga left sa City Council. Kailan kayo nanalo? Noong kinuha ko kayo sa ticket ko. Huwag na tayo magbulahan. Kaya kayo, sabi ko, prangkahan kayo, magsama tayo o doon kayo sa komunista. I'll drop you like a hot potato. Pag sabi ko, wala na kayong project, wala lahat, and I'll just wait for the next election, and I will drop you from the ticket. Alam ninyo yan. Alam ninyo, some of them now are signed in America. Akala ko ba ayaw ninyo ng Amerika? Father Tison, kasama yan ni Father Ivasco. June is back with us. He ran for governor. He lost, but he's a priest. He was a priest. Father Tison and Father Ivasco. Ang hindi ko alam, yung nanay ko may pagka-aktivista. But she was really passionate about good government. Gobernador kasi ang tatay ko. Every weekend makita ko sila sa bahay doon sa terrace. May mga madre gano'n. Nagmi-meeting. Akala ko nagdadasal ang mga yawa. Yung palapot na yun. Doon pa. Si June. Nung tumakyat ako sa bukid, nagkita kami. Alam mo yung NDF magkasal? Yung flag ng NDF, they encircle it with the couple. Balutin kayo ng NDF flag. Tapos ang seremonya. Ganon ang and yung mga gay, maraming gay sa NPA sa itaas. There's a good number of NPAs who are gays. Ewan ko kung bakit. Marami nagpunta doon sa bukid. But most of them now are lumads, exploited, oppressed by the new People's Army. Tinatakot lang ninyo. Pinapatay. When did this happen? Kayong mga lumad, kano saan nagsugod? Kailan ito nag-umpisa? Kano saan nagsugod? Before the NPS came, may gulo ba? Naabay samok sa inyong lugar? May gulo? It was when the NPA started its pacification sa taas. Tapos, ang una political officer, sige lecture. Yan, pagpasok ng political officers, pasok na ang mga lecturers yon. Naniwala naman kayo. Maniwala kayo. Kayong mga lumad na kapatid ko. Maniwala kayo sa komunista. Maniwala kayo na kaya nila magtayo ng gobyerno. Jesus Maria Josep. Puro walang ginawa yan kung hindi hingi ng taxes sa inyo at magpatay ng ayong sumama sa kanila. Yan ang problema. So, ulitin ko to review yung batuta. Pero yung yung batuta ibalik ko siguro, but I do not want yung kahoy. Yung pagkat tumama yun sa katawan ng tao na ang buto it can break the bones inside the body. Yung yung rubber, kakarating lang, kapasok lang. May I just beg the indulgence of General Galvez. Unahin ko lang ito, sir. Ito ang DNR kay kay Secretary Simato, General Simato. Ang departamento niya, dismissed Engineer Ronnie F. Pumpirada, neglect of duty, misconduct, gross neglect. Virgilio Abragan, grave misconduct, Wilfredo Factoranan, gross neglect of duty. Pati si Mario Tubanya. Pedro Herena, dismissed for grave misconduct. Rolando Palca, dismissed for grave misconduct. Engineer Jason Israel de la Cruz, dismissed, neglect of duty, grave misconduct. Henry N. Valeros, dismissed, irregular issuance of permit for Nara Lumber. Ito kahoy. Itong ang mga lumber na the remaining kahoy na magaganda, wala na. Maswerte ka kung may makita kang Nara. I hope the next generation would maiwanan sila ng para makakita sila kung ano ang Nara tree. Yung mga magagandang kahoy, yakal, wala na. Wala na yun. Engineer Nason de la Cruz, ayun, misconduct. Henry Valeros, dismissed, grave misconduct. Raquel Ali Lukman, this grave misconduct. Di Pedro, dismissed, grave misconduct. Roger Madre Redio, dismissed for grave misconduct. Ang mga suspended, hindi ako approve po. I will assign them to some other places. Kasi yung prejudicial to the best interest in land titling, delikado to. Pasahin ko lang lahat, pareho sila. I think these guys will, mag-usap kami ni General Simato. Ilipat ito sila sa probinsya at saka a job that has nothing to do with titling of lands. Shirley Camagon, Nolindo Dutdut, Marlene Minor, Ruby Dilia Preciosa, Tumamo, Olivia Abitong, Joel Eden, Rowena Pulido, Engineer Nila Castañares, Charlotte Cabiao, Engineer Cristina Makia, Aurora Talua, Merlin Aburca, Emmanuel Tigpos, Mamerto Caballero, Atia Acevedo, Remios Soma Kulob. I think I will ask for the records of these guys to the office of the president. I might just decide to dismiss them. Land titling, kung saan mo ilagay, gagawa rin ng kalukuhan niya. Now, let us hear the man of the hour, General Galvez. Sir, iyon na.
Sir, I will make a report, sir, on the vaccine. But beforehand, sir, Mr. President, I would like to thank you sa maaga pong paglalabas po ng EO 121, which will facilitate our immediate procurement of vaccine, wherein the regulatory requirements will be cut down from 6 months to 1 month. Sir, napakalaki pong tulong po sa amin po yun dahil kasi at least yung requirement po ng law na kailangan po may FDA emergency use ay mapapabilis po ang po natin pag-procure po natin ng vaccine.
Kung makatulong lang, sir.
Yes, sir. Marami po salamat, sir. At marami pong natuwa, sir, na taga-DOH at saka sa ating mga hospital po, sir, natin. Dahil alam po nila na napakalaking tulong po ng EO 121 po, sir. Sir, I will just have 5 slides, sir. Sa ngayon po, sir, nagkakaroon tayo ng reorganization dahil sa report nga po ni Secretary Duque ay mahigit lang na 5% po yung ating cases na very manageable. So, ang ginawa po namin, tinransfer na po namin yung National Incident Command Emergency Operation Center doon po sa NDRIM COCD, considering na talaga naman po, talagang sa OCD po kay Secretary Orlesana po yung pinaka-NTF, siya ang chairman, para po i-delegate na lang po sa DOH, DILG, at saka sa DEDA, yung pag-action sana po, dahil kasi ang gagawin po natin, magkakaroon po tayo ng massive preparation for the National Immunization Program. Napakalaki po ng ating preparation kasi it is unprecedented. At saka angan po natin, target po natin ay roon po tayo ng tatawag na immunization ng more or less 70 to 80 million. Kasi ang inyo pong order po sa amin ay magkaroon po ng nationwide immunization ang lahat po ng mga Pilipino, lalo na po paunahin po natin ang mga mahirap at saka yung tinatawag natin healthcare workers at saka mga frontliners natin, mga sundalo at mga pulis.
One question. There are about 100 million Filipinos plus.
Yes, sir.
You have pegged the initial mass vaccination at 60 million.
Sir, kasi po ang ano po natin, sa ano po kasi natin, ang problema po sir natin sir, yung supply and demand.
Okay.
Dahil po yung 80% na po ng mga vaccine na gagawin ay nakuha na po ng mga mayayamang country.
Mayaman.
Kaya nga po napakaganda po ng mga speeches niyo po sa ating UN na dapat katulad po natin ay mabigyan po tayo ng accessible sa equitable access to sa vaccine po sir. Kaya maganda po yung panawagan na yun at maganda po na yung mga ibang bansa na nakabili ng more than their population, they are more than willing to share it with us. Particularly po ang Australia po sir at saka yung ibang bansa. And I believe yung China po sir, nakausap na po namin si Ambassador Wang Xilian at they might be able to give some
Contribute
po sir. So ngayon po sir, ongoing ang negotiation po namin sa kanila. I-report ko po mamaya sir sa inyo.
Let me just cut you there para malaman lang ng mga tao. Mga alam mo itong vaccine, it could be from Pfizer, Moderna, it could be from Seneca,
AstraZeneca po sir.
Seneca, pati itong sa China.
China.
Puro approve ito at puro mabisa ito lahat.
Opo, sir.
I mean to say that they are not the cure, but they can be the prevention and eventually make the nation healthy again. Yung lahat na bakuna na bili ni General Galvez, baski saan-saang countries na gumagawa, China, it could be Australia, puro okay yan. I assure you, I give you that guarantee. Sige, sir.
Sir, okay naman po tayo sa ating communication, pero mabuti po in-explain nyo po yung herd immunity kasi ang mga tinatanong po ngayon sa ating mga press briefing, bukod doon sa kailan actually magkakaroon ng bakuna, at sinasabi ko po, nakadepende naman po yan sa approval ng tinatawag na emergency use authorization. Marami rin po nagtatanong dahil with a country of 110 million nga daw po, 60 million ng bakuna, paano yung balanse na 70 million? Ang sinasabi ko naman po ay ang pangako ng ating Pangulo ay yung pinakamahirap magkakaroon ng bakuna. Sumatotal po yan 60 million. Pero gagawa rin ng hakbang ang gobyerno para yung mga gusto bumili, na kaya naman bumili, ay magkakaangkat. Although ang problema po ngayon, yung sa private sector, talagang lahat po ng gumagawa ng bakuna ay G2G. So hindi ko na po alam kung ano yung gagawin ni Secretary Galvez, pero ang tanong po ng marami, paano naman kami na hindi mahirap, 670 million pa rin po yung hindi mapapasama doon sa 60 million natin. Ang assurance ko lang, gagawa ng hakbang para makaangkat din, at since hindi naman gagamit ng pondo ng gobyerno, mas madali nga po yun, no? Dahil sila ay makakabili. Yun lang po, Mr. President.
Ganun. If I may add, hindi sabihin na kinakalimutan natin yung may pera. You are still a Filipino and it's the people's money, your money, everybody's money. Ang akin lang is, as I have said earlier, na itong mauna, sundin yung patulong pangkabuhayan sa listahan ng DSWD. Meron doon yung pinakamahirap, medyo hindi mahirap, at saka yung medyo hirap-hirap lang. Ang mauna talaga dito, may order is yung mga mahirap, yung walang-wala talaga. Kasi yun ang unang, pag tinamaan, walang medisina, wala lahat. And most of them, sad to say, mga babayan natin na walang pera, mahirap, they kind of being intimidated going to the hospital, lalo na malaking hospital. Kaya sa kanila, kinakalimutan niya lang yung tiisin na lang nila, paswerte kung mabuhay o hindi. So these are the people na hindi naman total desperation, but these are the people na dapat unahin natin. Yung mahirap, dapat sundin talaga yan. Yung mga mahirap, tapos hindi masyado hirap, yung hirap-hirap lang, pati yung nagyaman, mahirap no nagyaman sa droga, ang injection ninyo, sa totoo lang, rabies. Pagkagat ko muna kayo ng it brings, drug, please understand it. The drugs problem brings the worst out of me. Ang masama kong ugali, masama kong temperament, ang pinakamasama kong pagkatao lalabas basta droga na ang pag-usapan. You have to take it or leave it. Yan ang makukuha ninyo sa akin. Hindi ako I don't moderate my words. Pag sinabi kong injection mo, tubig lang o rabies, ganyan ka lang. Putang ina mo, nandiyan ka sa droga talagang sabi ko. Do not destroy the Filipino or else I'll destroy you. Mga kaibigan, in a few days we'll be celebrating Christmas. Now the problem is the COVID. It has dampened, medyo humina ang natin, ang celebration natin ngayon. Tataka kayo na maraming hindi dito, hindi doon, puro hindi na lang. It's because we are fighting a deadly microbe, and it's COVID. And it can kill you pag tinamaan ka. Pasking ako, pag tinamaan ako, pwede ako madisgrasya. Kaya naman, nililimit ko yung exposure. Pero at times, talagang mapipilitan akong lumabas if there is a serious problem outside. Tiis na konti. Total, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, actually, so to speak. Pati yung there's a news in the horizon, there's already vaccines being produced. Kaya lang, ang sinasabi niya, the long and short, kaning istorya namin ngayon, is nauuna talaga yung mayayaman. And it is not our fault na mayaman sila. So if they have the clout o yung mayayaman, sila mismo ang nagpo-produce, wala man tayong magawa kasi naghihintay lang tayo yung sobra. But it also, in every crisis, brings out the humanity of a person. Like for example, China, Canada, may mga tayo noon, may mga kontrobersiya tayo, pero at least kinakalimutan muna natin yung alita natin because people are sick and dying. Ngayon, bago ko makalimutan, yung sa Davao kasi, wala kang marinig na putok. Ako, because I'm also aware that yung produkto ng mga tao dito, Bulacan, yung fireworks, hanap buhay nila. Pero I was really, to tell you the truth, I was toying with the idea of making it just like Davao. Maybe ganito na lang. Total, nandyan pa tayo ngayon. May 1 year pa kayo next December. Baka next December, ibawal ko na ang putok because it is really a dangerous thing and for reasons of public safety and health. Public safety, mamatay ka, masakit ka. Health is, ma-hospital ka, maputol yung kamay mo. It's a health problem actually. Yung inhalation ng powder smoke. So, it is a problem of health, public interest, and public safety. So, I'm putting you on a warning na baka by mid-year I will issue the necessary document banning totally banning paputok. Kagaya sa amin. Sa amin ngayon maganda man. New Year, Pasko. We celebrate it with the family. May music, lahat na. Gaiety and all. Walang nasusugatan, walang namamatay. Ang ayaw ko pa dito, ganito. Ito talaga ang masakit. Yung mapaputok na may mga baril. Ito yung mga walang hiya na walang utak. At bakit nagkaroon ng baril. You know, if you can point out, maybe I will give you the wherewithals later on. Magpaputok ka ng baril, what goes up goes down. With the same velocity going up, same velocity going down. Pag it pierces itong mga galvanized iron, pag tumatama maraming napapatay, lalo na sa labas, sa ulo. Itong mga tao na ito, may special and dedication ako, hintayin lang ninyo. Basta sunod, may nagpaputok ka ng baril. Ayaw ko kung anong gawin ko. Mag-isip pa ako ng mabuti. Pero basta I will, lalo na yung pagputok ng baril. I will make it a very serious offense. If not, I'll go to Congress. And, you know, do not give me that shit. Yung sabihin mo, hindi ko sadya, pataas man. If you know that if it hits a head of a person, it will kill him, you are guilty of homicide. Or maybe murder. Walang kalaban-laban yung tao, mahulog lang na. No? Hindi mo masabi, disgrasya. It is not accident, anak ng putang ina ka. Kasi balay, pagputok, sabi ko, velocity going up, pati velocity going down, going down, same velocity. Pag tumama yan in the past, mga bata. Ito kung wala kayong utak, I'm reminding, policemen, military men, and civilians, licensed or not holding firearms, do not, kasi pag nahuli ka, pag nahuli ka, dito sa pagpaputok mo, wala pang, pero papahirapan kita. Kung sa New Year ka magpaputok, I will detain you until, kasi the following day, sarado, walang opisina. So, papahirapan kita. Sabihin ko sa mga pulis, huwag ninyong linisin yung mga kubita ninyo sa priso. Hayaan ninyong, huwag ninyong linisin sa Pasko pati New Year kasi diyan ko ipasok yung mga putang inang yan. That's an order. Do not clean. That is reserved for idiots who have no sense of fairness and ewan ko. So mga kasama, mga kaibigan, kunting tiis na lang. Kunting tiis na lang. Magdasal kayo na si General Galvez hindi matamaan ng COVID. Kaya puta, lahat ng program na sinasabi niya, madiskaril yan. Oh. Malitsi na naman tayo. Maghanap tayo ng another hero from Marawi. So, idasal ninyo si General Galvez. Maraming salamat po.
Para ihayag ang pinakahuling kalagayan ng COVID-19 crisis sa bansa at ang mga hakbang na ginagawa ng pamahalaan laban sa pandemya. Mula sa Pangulo ng Republika ng Pilipinas, Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Ito ang Talk to the People on COVID-19.